Champions of England, we beat you 3-1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel today. My name is the Crimson Wolf and welcome back to the Blue Review for our Premier League game where we beat and utterly beat Liverpool, and I could not be any happier. If you do not know, Liverpool are my most hated club on the planet. They may not be our biggest rivals. That could be Tottenham, it might be Leeds, it might even be Barcelona, but I genuinely do not despise a club on this planet more than Liverpool, and to beat them in our own stadium on the quest for Champions League football, taking all 3 points, and a week after they've just won the title, over the moon, absolutely over the moon. And I hope you are all feeling the exact same way as I am. So before we get into this, I do just want to make a small disclaimer, which isn't really for yourselves, unless you are a certain individual who I am going to mention. But basically, I did have a video recorded for the lead-in to this game versus Liverpool. It was with one of my mates from college who is a Liverpool fan, and I brought him on and we were talking a lot about Liverpool, a lot about Chelsea, this game, and there was a few other things thrown in there as well. And basically, the video didn't turn out properly because OBS, for some reason, which is the recording software I use, basically it signed out my microphone in a way. What I mean by that is you have to go into the settings and select what microphone you are using for the primary audio for like a video recording, and for some reason it unselected it. It does it every now and then. Usually I notice it because I'll have the recording screen in front of me and I'll see that the bar's moving, the sound bar's moving. I didn't have it in front of me for this one. I had it on my right side and I didn't look at it, so I didn't notice it, and pretty much it was a solid 2-hour recording of me and my mate where only his part of the audio recorded and mine didn't. So the video is completely unusable. There's nothing I can do about it. I am beyond infuriated about it, and apologies to my mate. I have already put out something on my community post. I did apologize to him in person as well, but again, just apologies for taking up his time for that. It's not like the most damaging thing in the world, and he was happy to do the video. I didn't have to drag him into doing it, so he won't be too mad about it, I hope, at least. But I just wanted to say apologies for that, and apologies to any of you for robbing you of some, what in my opinion was quite solid content. It was one of my favorite videos that I recorded as well, because it was just a good time, really. Like, I just enjoyed having him on the channel. I will bring him on the channel at some point. I'm going to find a way to do it. I'm going to discuss it with him, and I will find a way to bring him on the channel, because as I said, I did really enjoy having him on here. But that was just a little thing I need to get out of the way. So now, moving into this game, and I want to start with first telling you what actually happens around here, which is that I go through 8 points from the game, Lampard's famous 8, as I like to call it, and I give them a card based on whether I thought it was a good, mid, or bad performance, that being blue, yellow, and red, respectively. And then there is, of course, the gold card for the man of the match. So I'm going to kick this off by talking about what is really the only negative point in the match. It is the only red card. There are no yellow cards, so after this it will be all blues plus the gold card. And it is unfortunate because I do like the guy, but it doesn't need to be mentioned he did have a bad game, and that is for Nicholas Jackson, or should I call him Nico Werner, because my God, he could not stay on side in this game. Like, he was struggling so much to stay on side. It's not the best game I've ever seen him have, that should go without saying. And it wasn't a great game from Jackson. He didn't really have much impact on how the game progressed. I wouldn't say he was overly important to us getting the win. It's a bit of a difficult one. I do like Jackson, and I hope he has a good end to the season, because I think he will be important in us getting Champions League football. But this was just not one of those games for him where he was really useful in any way. So hopefully it's an improvement in the next couple of games. He's obviously recently just broken his own scoring duct, obviously scoring versus Everton and then scoring 2 midweek versus De Gordon. So hopefully this isn't sign of things to come, basically, and it is just a little bump in the road, and hopefully we get more of the real Nicholas Jackson that we all know and love towards the end of the season. But for now, this just wasn't really a great game for him. Moving into the blue card for this game, and we're going to start with someone who I actually think has improved quite a lot with a position change randomly enough, and that is for Noni Madueke. And Noni Madueke has been put on the left wing for the past 2 games, past 2 Premier League games, that is, and he's looked actually really good. Like, he has looked so good down that left side. He obviously played it versus Everton, he's now played it versus Liverpool, and he did look really good on that side. I think the way it works is because it changes the way he has to approach a game. When he plays on that right side, he's more encouraged to go and put in on his left foot and try and score. Whereas when he's on the left side, he can still cut in and score because apparently he has developed his right foot enough to the point where he's capable of doing so. But he's also more than capable of taking on his man, running to the byline and crossing with the ball at his left foot. Obviously, his more stronger foot. So I really like what we've done with this game. I think it's also a bit of a sign of things to come, that maybe we've looked at some left-wing targets. We aren't overly happy with the options that we have available to us, or there are certain problems with certain ones. Nico Williams, for one, he is a good player, but he hasn't necessarily had the best season for Bilbao. On top of that, he does have enormous wages. I believe he's on about 200k at Bilbao right now, so would probably want more than that to come and join us. So there is problems like that. There will be others as well, but I think this is possibly a good way at helping us to keep Madueke at the club by having him shift over to that left side, have Pedro Neto on the right, and so far it's working. We play Newcastle next, and I think that'll be a good test of how Madueke performs on the left wing. He hasn't necessarily had the best test in these recent games. Obviously, he played against Nathan Patterson, against Everton, which isn't necessarily the biggest challenge, and obviously against Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is not a great defender. So I'll be interested to see how he performs against what will most likely be Kieran Trippier in that game. So that'll be a very interesting one for me. But until then, I like what I'm seeing from Noni. I hope he keeps going on with it. And yeah, I'm very happy for him. So we move into the next point I want to talk about, and it is for the defence. And when I say the defence, I'm specifically talking about the centre-backs, Levi Colwill, Trevor Chalobah. The past 2 games have been an absolute stark improvement from these two. The partnership is now starting to gel together quite nicely. I think Colwill has been absolutely phenomenal in these past 2 games. I think it's the best games Trevor's had as well. So they've both been really, really good in this time. And I hope we get to see them as quality as this for the rest of the season, because maybe there is a world where we end up with these two as our starting centre-backs for next season, which I don't think would be the worst thing. Wesley Fofana has shown that his injury record is not going to be behind him anytime soon. There are obviously options we can go and sign in the market. We're obviously linked to the likes of Mark Gehi and Dean Howson right now. But Gehi, for me, doesn't necessarily have the profile, and Houston doesn't have the experience. So I wouldn't be overly upset to keep with these two going into next season. I think there are worse options that we could do. There is obviously still rumours that Trev ends up getting sold. So that's a possibility. Levi does seem to be quite safe. He seems like he is going to be rocking that defence for the next 10 years. And I'm quite happy for him in that. And I was happy with what we saw from both of them in this game. I thought Trev in particular was really good because he was putting in the challenges. He was marking his man. He was getting forward. He was being aggressive. Levi was more reserved, but he did have his moments, obviously stopping I believe there was a cross coming into the box and he headed it behind for a corner instead of allowing the striker to get onto it and put it in the back of the net. So I was happy for Levi in that aspect. So I hope we do get to see more of these guys. It would be really nice to actually get a stable partnership because we have lacked that at times in the past couple of years. Obviously, last season we had Levi with various partners, obviously Thiago Silva, we had Disasi at some point, we had Buddy Shield in there, and quite a few more that just became quite convoluted and messy. Obviously, at the start of the season, we did have Levi and Fofana, which were our starting centre-back partnership. And since Fofana ran out, we've failed to find an adequate replacement for him to be Levi's partner. Tosin hasn't really done it because I don't think Levi and Tosin really work that well together. I think the partnership doesn't really work well together because of clashing styles. We've had Josh try in there. Obviously, I don't think Josh really has the experience for that yet, playing alongside Levi. And Trev at the start didn't look great alongside Levi, but that was because the first game they played together was against Man City, where they had to deal with Erling Haaland. So, they were a bit screwed there. But for me, they've actually developed into quite a solid partnership and 100% our starting partnership for the rest of the season. And I really hope that Trev stays for next season. Whether he starts or not is a different argument, but I do hope he stays next season because he has been really good quite recently. there is another part of the defense I want to mention, and that is for Marc Cucurella. Cucurella was brilliant in this game, absolutely locked up Salah, pocketed him up pretty much all game. There was literally points when I'm looking across the pitch, like, where is Salah? I cannot see him, because he's literally not even in position. He's not even out on that right wing. He's like closer to a 10 position, because he just does not want to deal with Cucurella, because he knows he can't beat him. Cucurella is just so fearless when it comes to taking on these like class right wingers. He does the exact same thing when he plays Bukayo Saka. For the past 2 seasons, when Cucurella has come up against Saka, he has absolutely walled him out of the game, and thankfully he did do the same thing against Salah. This is actually the first time in, I think, quite a while that he's actually played Salah, because I think he's only ever played him in the first season we had him, when neither of us were particularly brilliant. Salah wasn't brilliant. Obviously, Cucurella was not that good at the time. But since last season, he never played him last season because I believe first game of the season, he just wasn't in favour in the squad. It was Chilwell who played left wing back, and second game he was injured. Obviously, he was suspended for the Anfield game this season. So this is the first time he's really gone toe-to-toe with Salah at the peak of his powers, and he did not disappoint. Salah's maybe not into the game as much, because obviously he's riding the high of already won the title. His job is pretty much done for the season. So it was probably a pretty easy job for Cucurella to do that, but he still did a magnificent job in doing it. And yeah, Cucurella just has a knack for going up against these players and coming out on top. As I say, he's done it to Saka, he's done it to the likes of Jared Bowen as well, and he has just done it to so many players where you think that they might get the better of him, and then he just shuts them out of the game completely. So hopefully we do see more of that from Cucurella. He is just a great left back to watch. Obviously, going forward, he's phenomenal as well, but obviously his defensive qualities were more important in this game, so I'm quite happy with what we saw from him. So yeah, hopefully we get to see a bit more from Cucurella. Moving on into someone who we have missed so much this season and has been absolutely class in these past 2 games when he has started, and that has been Romeo Lavia. Lavia has been absolutely superb. He has been amazing since he's come back, and it just shows how important he is to this team. Someone said this quite a bit ago, and I agree with it, which is that Lavia is to Maresca what Rodri is to Pep, and that could possibly not be any more true, because you just see how much of a better team we are with Romeo Lavia in that team. He is unbelievably press resistant. He's able to screen that backline absolutely perfectly, and his progressive play is absolutely superb. He created that first goal. He got the ball back. He gave it to Cole Palmer after he'd absolutely floored Curtis Jones, and from there we counter on them. He gets the ball to Neto. Neto squares it to Enzo Fernandez, and it's in the back of the net. That started from Romeo Lavia. He is so important to the way we want to play in this team, and it works so well. And him in that midfield, alongside the 2 names that I'm about to mention, spoilers, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, and for the sake of argument, I might as well put them up now. So, yep, there you go. Caicedo, Enzo as well. And all 3 of them were phenomenal in this game. Obviously, Caicedo inverting from right back was absolutely brilliant. He's done it before, and I really enjoyed seeing him do it in this game. I thought he was really good at it. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez, scorer of our first goal. It's a brilliant goal as well. Obviously, the cross comes in from the right from Pedro Neto. He takes the touch with his left foot and bangs it in on his right past Alisson. It's an absolutely superb goal, and it's a Frank Lampard-esque goal, honestly. He has become a proper number 8 now with his ability to get into these situations in the box. He's done a really good job of it, so I am really happy for Enzo in that aspect. But this midfield is just so absolute quality, and it's even more comedic the fact that they all turned down Liverpool to come play for Chelsea. The comedy of that is absolutely superb. I absolutely love it, and these 3 are just absolutely brilliant. I really love what all 3 of them bring to the team. Obviously, you have Lavia, who is that like progressive playing, deep lying midfielder. You have Caicedo as the hunter, the ball winner, the ball stealer, who's going to go and hunt the ball down all across the pitch. And you have Enzo as the creative magician up top, who is going to get the passes in. He's going to be the one that arrives late in the box to score those kind of goals. So I am really happy that this midfield is finally clicking together, and it's been so long since I can say we've had an absolute world-class midfield. These 3 together, if Lavia stays fit, will be, in my opinion, the best midfield in the world. They are absolutely perfect at what they need to do, and I could not be happier. However, I'm not giving any of them man of the match, because there is one man who we have missed so much. He has been an absolute shell of himself for the past I don't know, 4 months, whatever it's been. But he is back. He's finally back. Oh, I could not be happier about it. And this is arguably, I'd say, the best he's played all season. He's had some good games, don't get me wrong, but this is arguably the best he's played all season. You know who I'm talking about. The man who scores our final goal, the man who has returned to form. This was a resurgent game for him. It is, of course, the one, the only, Cole Palmer. Palmer was amazing in this game. Everything good about us went through Palmer today. And it's just so good to see him back, finally firing. His goal drought has finally ended with that penalty. And for me, that was symbolic of him being back. Throughout the past couple months, when he's not been able to find the back of the net, he's had opportunities that he should have buried. And the thing that was telling to me was the fact he had that penalty that we got versus Leicester. And obviously, he did not score it. Mads Hermansen saved it. It was just a sign of the fact that he's not right. But the fact, it was so symbolic that he had a phenomenal game and then stepped up to take that penalty at the end. And he absolutely banged it. Palmer is back. He is back with a vengeance. And he's going to be so important for the rest of the season. Palmer, it's not a secret. He is our best player. That is not a secret. It is a fact. He is absolutely phenomenal. And we are going to need him for the end of the season. We obviously go to St. James next, which is by far and away the hardest fixture that we have left. I hate going to St. James. That atmosphere is absolutely criminal. It is absolutely just so difficult to play against. They are the 12th man for Newcastle, and we need to take advantage of the fact that Newcastle are pushing for Champions League football and could be feeling the pressure. So we do need to take advantage of that where possible. We obviously play Man United after that at home, which, considering the fact they basically just completely collapsed in the Premier League, should be a pretty light day, but we do need to obviously take it seriously. And then obviously the final day of the season, we play Nottingham Forest, which will be important because I believe Forest will still have some designs on Champions League football or European football in general. So should be an interesting game when we make it to that point. We did beat them last season at the City ground, obviously with the 3-2 result coming back from 2-1 down. Reece James off the bench to provide the winning assist for Nicholas Jackson. So it is going to be so important that we win this game. And Palmer is going to be a vital cog in the way to do that. Having Lavia in that midfield alongside Enzo and Caicedo behind him will work magic, I guarantee you. And he's finally actually shifted over to that right position where he was the best he's ever been. That right half space position. Now he started playing there more. He's been doing so well. And I'm so happy for him. So finally, Cole Palmer is back. He is back and better than ever, hopefully. And yeah, I'm just so happy. We got the win. We got the 3 points. We put 2 fingers up at Liverpool. It's just been an absolutely brilliant day. So that is going to wrap it up for my review of this game. I hope you all very much enjoyed it. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear them. And do you think Cole Palmer is back? I think he's back personally, but only time will tell. So we will wait and see. So with that being said, my name is the Crimson Wolf. I am the reddest Chelsea fan on the internet, and you have all been amazing. And I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with it.